very excited. About a year ago, right around the time that some of you know my mother passed, I did what I do, and just started writing, and started, I guess, writing what I thought was, a meditation on grief, and
My condolences.
thank you. And I've always been fascinated since my NYU days with Arthur Miller. And being a Red Sox fan, I had a kind of a sick fascination with Joe DiMaggio. And I started imagining how both of those men had both loved and married and divorced Marilyn Monroe. And I thought about how differently both of those men, both titans in their own industry, would have grieved her. And though there is no physical evidence in history of them ever meeting, I just imagined what it would be like if the two of them ever ran into each other at a bar. What would they talk about? Would they tear each other apart? Would they scream? How would that go? And this play is sort of a meditation on that. And I'm very, very happy and proud of the job Kurt Roediger did of directing this. He's amazing. And the performances by John Fugelsang and Ron Barba and Chelsea Lesage are really fantastic. They're a great bunch of actors. And I hope you all enjoy. Thank you very much.
Reminds me of Wally Pipp. You're probably too young to remember him. Life of the party, that guy. Loved his hooch. Loved the ladies. Loved to gamble. Solid first baseman. Anyway, one day he shows up for an afternoon game in the Bronx. It's the middle of July. He's sweating, hungover, miserable. It's not one of his best days. So he turns to the manager. He asks if he can sit the game out. So Mike pulls this kid up off the bench. Come in, replace him. You know what his name was?
Mel Ott.
You wise ass. Who do you think I am, Grandpa Moses? It was none other than a young Lou Gehrig.
Oh, Christ almighty.
Christ himself wouldn't have believed this. You know, it's funny, I never saw old Wally in the Bronx again. But Yogi saw him. He saw him at an airport a few years ago. He was selling insurance.
Hey, it's a steady living.
You know what it ain't?
Well, it ain't holding first base for the Yankees, but then again.
What end? You got that right, Edith. Hit me again. What is it? Edith. Irish? French?
No, it's Welsh. Now, my mom was Welsh and my dad was Irish. Now, my mom says that Enid is Welsh for the soul. My dad says that Enid means Belfast shotgun wedding baby circa 44.
44. Wow. So you're 24. A lovely, funny, fiery lass at 24.
Grazie, Signora DiMaggio.
Call me Joe. No need to be so formal. I shit the same color as you, kid.
Ah! I see you have a touch of the poet in you. Now remind me to sew that on a pillow.
Tom Rickles over here.
I'll be here all week, folks. Try the veal.
You need a hell of a lot of ball players behind the bar?
Yes. Some. Lots of Broadway folks. They got some playwrights staying here. Plenty of boffo actresses. Oh, no, one time. Kirk Douglas. It ain't dull.
I tell you what, those Madison Avenue pricks got me doing. That called the coffee thing.
The TV commercials?
They call it Mr. Coffee. They got me hawking it on TV.
Yeah, it sounds like a Jim Dandy payday.
It ain't 2 bits.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, but I tell you, it's a genuine pain in the ass. They got you saying 2 or 3 lines, but then you got 5 lawyers, 3 suits, and some fruit sitting 20 feet from the chute. And everybody wants to suggest a different way how to say these 2 or 3 lines. I ain't exactly Brando, so.
Actually, I saw one on the TV the other day. It was on in the middle of the Brady Bunch. I mean, you looked great.
I sound like a schmo.
People like to see you. Well, they trust you. You're a legend. Now, people pay you for the trust.
Maybe. Seems like a dishonest way to turn a buck.
It beats pulling pints in a hotel.
Ain't all bad.
Yeah. No, some days it's just downright swell. Now, did I ever tell you about the time that I met Joe DiMaggio?
I'm gonna come back there and put my foot in your keister, you Weisenheimer. I tell you, who could really throw him back like the Dickens was Jackie Gleason. Just a barrel of laughs. He really had me going one night at Toots. What was it? No, it was at the 21 Club. It was landing the wisecracks, left, right, and center. Just singing dirty Irish limericks, the works.
Yeah, wow, Gleason, yeah, that must have been something.
I tell you, you take a gorgeous lady out for a steak and a bottle of bubbly and a joint like that with all the movie stars and the ball players and the pop singers. Next thing you know.
Home run?
Is it too late? Are you,
No, we don't shut for a wee bit. Here, pull up a stool, tell me your troubles, and I'll pour you some hooch.
Good to hear. That was not the case in Boston. They nailed the doors shut at 1 a.m. up there.
Then where you from?
Technically Connecticut, but I was in Boston for a premiere of
Yeah?
a play.
You a director? I mean, you look like a famous director.
No, he's a playwright. Yeah, he did a bunch of Broadway stuff like Death of the Salesman, The Witch Trials.
The Crucible? You're Arthur Miller? Wow! I just
But that ain't how you recognize him, though. No. What really made him famous was marrying my ex-wife. Now, she was a big star. She was a movie star. And that put his mug on all the papers.
Marilyn Monroe. I'm sorry. Never mind, it's none of my business.
Hello, Joe. You know what's strange? Every time I come into the city, I always ask myself, is today the day I'm going to run into him?
Yeah, law of averages, it makes sense.
Would you prefer I leave?
Yeah, it's a free country. You stand at the hotel, knock yourself out.
May I buy?
Don't push your luck, all right? I haven't paid for a drink since V-Day. And it ain't because I'm a cheapskate. I got plenty of money, you can keep yours.
I believe you. I saw you on the television.
Look, I don't mind if you sit here and have a drink, but if you don't mind, I'd like
Of course. Can I get a gin and tonic?
Lime?
Please.
You know, I actually, I studied theater at Marymount, and I'm a big fan of The Crucible. I got relatives that live in Salem, just outside of Boston. Yeah.
I know it well. It's a lovely part of our country.
dog shit baseball team.
Decent seafood, good schools, nice foliage.
That's the leaves, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the colors are really amazing this time of year. Really beautiful. I'm Enid, by the way.
Arthur, is the kitchen?
I'm afraid not. The kitchen usually closes about 10 p.m., but the cook's usually blotto by 9.
Any peanuts?
Yeah, let me see what I can get from the kitchen. Wait. Joe, can I in?
Yeah, 20 cc's of the hooch stuff.
Oh, 2 swigs of the vodka and stab.
That's my girl.
You know, I was reading in the Times.
I thought I'd be a swell guy, but I let you stay for that drink. You're gonna louse it up with polite conversation.
I don't remember asking you for permission. I asked if my being here made you uncomfortable.
Is that what you said?
That was my intention.
But that ain't how you phrased it. You really missed your calling as a lawyer.
And you really followed your calling as a bully.
What was the idea here? You egg me on until I break your schnoz and then what, you sue me?
Unlike everyone else in your life, I'm not in awe of you. And I'm not afraid of you. I was in town, I came in for a drink, you happen to be here. Well, that may be unfortunate.
What is
it
this?
doesn't. What?
This.
What this? What?
Did you know I was in here?
I don't care. I'm in town for a premiere.
Oh, would you do another exploitation piece on it?
I based one character in one play.
It was very disrespectful.
Are you going to criticize my
No,
process?
you said hurtful things about a woman I
I
loved.
said truthful things about a woman I loved. Now, I'm sorry if you found that to be unfair or untrue. I tried to be honest. I had very real feelings for her, but you had to know. Loving her was like trying to pin down a cloud. There was no way anyone could hope to compete with her love affair with a million eyes and 100 cameras.
There was no way anyone could compete with her love with me.
You said with. Why not for?
What is that, some kind of barstool shrink bullshit?
I have no doubt about the sincerity of your feelings.
You say her name out loud once, it's Knuckles.
If you're such a tough guy, then you ought to be man enough to admit the truth.
Whose truth?
It was a lot. It took a lot out of you. Loving her.
It was worth every scar.
I'm not so certain I agree.
That's because you never loved her. You just wanted her. Everybody just wanted a piece of her. Me, I wanted to take care of her, to protect her, to cherish her.
Sounds like an inscription on a gilded cage.
Well, what did you want?
I foolishly thought I could save her
What, from me?
from herself. But people aren't the answer. And they're not the cure for somebody else's damage. It's not how love works.
Yeah, well, if you're so wise, how come you failed at loving her?
Love can't save anyone. It helps, it heals. But it doesn't cure people.
Yeah, well, we were still together. She'd still be here now, I know that.
That sounds like a very cruel thing to do to yourself, Joe. You don't know.
No, you don't
that-
fucking know.
No, we knew. Yes, we knew. I think we both did. But who knows, with all the years of childhood abandonment, the adolescent sexual abuse, and the drugs, the booze, the stress of being her
I gave her a way out.
under lock and key.
You're talking dangerously out of your ass.
No, Joe. I talked to her for hours. That was the whole beginning of our relationship. First in letters, then on the telephone, and then, years later, in person. She told me everything. She trusted me. I'll tell you, Joe. She knew how much you loved her, and you lived in her heart always. You just held on a little too tight. Maybe it was out of fear.
Maybe I saw what was coming.
Maybe. There were times I thought she did too.
Yeah, we had no trouble. Tossing her aside when you're done with her.
No.
She told me that.
No. When we were shooting The Misfits, I met someone. She was kind and mature and capable of giving me the kind of love that I needed. I can't just bask in adoration or lust. It's too fleeting. Sure, when you're young, you can afford to let yourself be consumed by infatuation, but you can't build anything on that. Attraction is a phase. It begins to dissipate the moment it's quenched.
You got all the answers.
I got one answer.
Yeah, what does your new wife have that she didn't?
Honestly, an interest in people and things outside herself.
No, she had a big heart.
Yes, she did. A damaged and broken heart. And it lived and died behind a wall of vanity and avarice.
She said you did this. You hide behind your words.
She did accuse me of that on occasion. She had my number. She was very perceptive.
Yeah, most folks never saw that. They just thought she was some blonde ditz.
She wanted them to think there was more there. And there was.
That's the first right thing you've said.
Behold, gents, a movable feast. I'm sorry I couldn't do any better.
This is fine.
You did great, Enid, as always.
Another round, you crazy kids?
Thanks.
Yes.
Same way?
That works for me.
Yep. I tell you, I'd give my right arm from a fresh loaf of focaccia.
Oh, I can't stand it.
Bread?
I drove a bread truck as a teenager. The smell is just, it's lovely in the beginning, but then.
Yeah, try cleaning out your dad's fishing boat. There's a stink for you.
That's right. Your father was a fisherman. San Francisco, right?
Yep. I thought your family was rich.
They were. Until the crash of 29. Then we moved to Queens, and my siblings and I had to work a string of bum jobs to keep the family fed. That's the other reason why I can't stand bread. I would always steal a couple of loaves for my family after a run. After years of stale bread and fish head soup.
Fish head soup, Christ. I'd rather eat my fucking glove. Remember all those crazy diets she used to go on? My favorite was black coffee, grapefruit, and spinach. It made her keister blast like 76 trombones.
My favorite? She would eat nothing but rabbit food for a month. And then at the end of a shoot, she would make a hot fudge sundae.
It was the size of a crosstown bus.
A cornucopia of diabetes.
Yeah. She'd dive in there like it owed her money.
Chocolate smeared all over her face.
Can I get you gents anything else? I'm gonna start packing up, otherwise.
No, I'll take the bill.
Tell you what, fellas. Last round was on me.
Much obliged. Could I also ask for 3 shots?
Sure, Jim.
Joe? Bourbon?
Yeah, why not?
Enid, you keep the change.
Are you sure? Thanks.
Eat it. Don't forget this.
Jackpot! Now I can finally get that new blow dryer. Fellas, you're too good to me. Honestly.
Enid, one of these is for you.
Better knock it back before the boss sees me drinking. Again.
To, absent friends.
To Norma Jean.
Yeah, amen to that, gents. If you don't mind me, I'm just gonna finish packing up.
Get back out to California much, Joe?
Yeah, holidays mostly. I still got a lot of family in San Francisco, bet. Why do you ask?
Did you hear about those wildfires in Santa Ana?
Yeah, some real tragic stuff. A real sad case.
I was reading this piece in the National Geographic about these California wildfires there in Santa Ana. And it turns out they evidently trained these dogs to be able to sniff out and identify the ashes of the victims of the fire.
The hell they can.
Oh, no. The dogs have thousands of receptors in their nose. They're quite keen in terms of their olfactory talents.
I'll be damned. It's the Canine Coroner
The
Crusaders.
success rate of this is staggering.
Yeah. A fat load of good it does the dead, though, huh?
Maybe. But you know, I believe it's more for the loved ones of the deceased. It gives them something to remember them, something physical they can put in the urn.
I don't want to be cremated. You can bury me at Holy Cross Cemetery.
So be my grave without a name. Now when it comes to be my day, let the markers I leave be the ones I need.
Did you ever visit her grave at Holy Cross? No, I bought the plot. I paid for the funeral, casket, and the stone. A lot of people turned out. didn't see you there.
You're welcome. You know, when I was a boy studying the classics, I came across the work of Philegelos. It contains the oldest known joke in recorded history. It always stuck with me.
Oh yeah? Joke still got legs?
Oh, it's a pip. This old misogynist is in the cemetery attending his wife's funeral. When someone passes by and asks, "Who is it that rests in peace here?" "I do," he answers. "Now that she's gone."
Rim shot, followed by a couple of raspberries.
Yeah, Lord knows how it was received in its day. But those words have endured over centuries. The author's name, too.
Like any of it matters. Baseball, Broadway. In the end,
It matters, Joe. It all matters. Even if it doesn't last. It has to.
some wise words there, Rabbi.
Well, that appears to be as high a note as I can hope to exit on. Believe it or not, Joe, it was good to see you. Sorry it took so long.
Took as long as it had to.
You think she still remembers us?
I think she still remembers us. No, I think she's been sitting here the whole fucking time. When I go, I hope she's the first face that I see.
Heaven. You still believe in...
That's why they call it faith, Arthur.
Sounds like a hell of a thing to look forward to.
It's better looking back. Dinosaurs like us, that's all we fucking do.
You know, I once asked Marilyn why she loved you. She said, Joe's a good man. He has an honest soul. She really was perceptive.
Hey, I know. I know.
In the end, Joe and I were merely the inept custodians of a fierce and broken heart. We could tend her, admire her, adore her, but we simply lacked the tools and the skill to repair the damage. Our time with her was as much a vigil as a courtship. My hope is that she found peace in the arms of something kind and infinite, or in the dark, quiet ocean of the stars. They say that all the stars in the night sky are already dead, and what we perceive to be a tiny twinkling beacon is in reality just the funeral pyre of a dying star, taking one final bow and leaving tiny illuminations in its wake. To Norma Jean.